Okay, what's going on, you all? Welcome back to a football podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about the signing of Chelsea manager, former Chelsea player, Frank Lampard has officially signed with Chelsea now. What we're going to be walking through is the 4 problems Frank Lampard needs to fix at Chelsea. This is according to OneFootball. If I agree, I will let you all know at the end of this. If I don't agree, I will also still let you all know my opinion of what they actually need to fix or whether or not this is an accurate article. But please, before we start today, if you all go on to enjoying, go ahead and like and subscribe. We are trying to get 100 subscribers by the end of the year. We are 28 new subscribers out from 100. So I am definitely working this summer transfer window, making sure that the content is getting out there to you all, especially those of you who rely on me for content. So without further ado, though, the 4 problems Frank Lampard needs to fix at Chelsea. Frank Lampard, Chelsea's all-time top goal scorer and shed-end legend, has been confirmed as their new manager. After just 1 season of senior coaching, the former midfielder has been handed the reins of Stamford Bridge, ready to lead his old club from the sidelines. But with the team in such a state of flux, what are the first orders of business for Lampard? A question of youth. Chelsea's transfer ban from FIFA may be bad news for the transfer fetishists among you, but for the long-term health of the club, it could be the best thing to happen to them in years. With over 50 players out on loan and a generation of youth team players desperate to break through, there really is, in terms of raw talent, an embarrassment of riches at Stamford Bridge. Now, though, Lampard needs to be given time to blood-said talent, even if that means, in the short term, at least heading backwards to go forwards. Leading the line. Alvaro Morata was not the solution. If Gonzalo Higuain was the answer, God knows the question was. Not since Diego Costa left of Chelsea truly have someone who can lead the line and impose themselves on opposition defenders. Perhaps Michy Batshuayi is that man. Maybe it is Tammy Abraham. Whoever it may be, Lampard needs to act quick to find a forward who can fire the Blues back into contention. Leadership. When David Luiz is one of your most trusted and consistent senior voices, perhaps it's time to start worrying. Gary Cahill was certainly no Paolo Maldini, but the way he was ostracized by the former regime was verging on the disgraceful. Lampard must not let the few senior influential figures they have in the squad slip through their grasp. How to replace Eden Hazard. Short of buying Kylian Mbappe or Lionel Messi, Chelsea are never going to get a direct replacement for Eden Hazard. The Belgian has become a totem around which this Blues side is built, and so expect a similar level from someone else is irresponsible in the least. But who can be that wide forward who stretches the play and takes defenders out of the game? And if Chelsea don't find someone, does that stunt their growth as a side? Okay. There's a lot to dig in here with this article. I'm going to start off with the first is a question of youth. If Chelsea do have 50 plus players out on loan already from their youth academy team, that is good. But will Frank Lampard know who to bring back or who to recall from loan and make sure that they get that first team action? I'm not sure about that, but we shall see what he does with that. If he can find those hidden gems or hidden talents and bring them back and get them into the first team, or find, say, the next Eden Hazard, which is going to be tough because Eden Hazard played at a high level for about 7 years. A high level in a high level in the Premier League. What the heck? A high level in the Premier League. So we shall see what ultimately does decide to be happening. We move on to leading the line. As you all well know, in the past few years, Chelsea have struggled up front. They have had Diego Costa, Gonzalo Higuain, Alvaro Morata, and it's just a struggle finding that next number 9, that true number 9. I believe that if they can bring back the Tammy Abraham, as well as maybe even another player who is able to play behind them like a Michy Batshuayi, that will work out for Chelsea, and they will be able to get loads of goals, especially if it's a young up-and-coming player instead of most oftentimes an older player like a Gonzalo Higuain or Diego Costa. Get those young legs up front and see what happens. In my opinion, that's what Frank Lampard should do with them. Leadership. Now, this is interesting because when David Luiz is one of your most trusted and consistent senior voices, perhaps it's time to start worrying. My opinion here is I don't think you should start worrying, because this is David Luiz. He's a quality center back, has been for a number of years. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to play the system. He understands, hey, not everybody may listen to him, but he needs to get his opinion out there. That way they will be able to think about, hey, what he just said. My opinion is David Luiz is still a qualified player to be speaking for the club. He's still more trusted than anybody else. But that also means that players around him who are senior players need to also step up their own game. Because if it is only David Luiz and no one else is trying to be a leader, okay, I understand that. But if it's David Luiz and a few others, it shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't, in my opinion. But what do I know, Here we go. And then last but not least, how to replace Eden Hazard. In my opinion, I don't believe you can ever replace Eden Hazard, especially if you do have a transfer ban incoming. There's not much you can really do about that. Now, the only thing I can say is if Chelsea wasn't on a transfer ban, they probably would be able to go after an Antoine Griezmann or a player of that sorts. But because of the transfer ban, it puts them ultimately stuck in purgatory. They don't understand that, oh crap, now we can't sign any players, so have to rely on the youth academy. So going back into that, have to rely on the youth academy to possibly produce that next, say, Eden Hazard, in quotation marks, of course, but I can't really see it unless they make a signing after their transfer ban for a quality, authentic player who is up to that standard of an Eden Hazard, like a Griezmann, which would be interesting. But the problem is he may be going to Barcelona this year, so I can't really see him going to Chelsea, but that would be an interesting signing for sure. But you all, that is pretty much my opinion on that article there. Frank Lampard is now the new manager of Chelsea, aka the former player for Chelsea. An absolute beast of a player when he did play. Now he's the manager of his former club. Let me know in the comment section down below, how do you believe he's going to perform in his first season? In my opinion, I believe Chelsea are going to finish in 4th or 5th. That is just my opinion. Of course, in the future, I will definitely be bringing out the Premier League table and trying to predict where I believe each top 6 side will finish next season, especially looking at the transfers we have already going on. Thank you so much, though. Hope you all went on to enjoying. Like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace. Wow.